my God, I am sick to my stomach. Real quick, let me welcome up to the panel. What's going on, Nanny? Happy New Year's.
Hey, happy
I
New
wish
Year.
shit. My bad. Yeah, no. I wish it was better circumstances. For this game, man. That
Well,
was atrocious.
well, I would give you this, and maybe it's because I this year, which was a great year for me, by the way, I learned the alternate thinking and positive thinking. At least this was not a playoff game, right? And at
But was it
least,
though?
well, here's the thing. This is what I'm saying to you. It's like this game doesn't mean that the season is over. We still have a game on Sunday,
That is
and
true.
we clinched the playoff
That is
spot
true.
the week before. Like here's the thing. There was a lot of bad things. I'll be honest. I had called this game as a loss earlier when I saw the schedule because I just don't think we travel well, especially to the Northeast. Even though the weather wasn't a reason, I'm not the one. The only thing that has me, I guess, concerned is the Bradley Chubb injury and the X injury, but all of the other components are still the same. We got to go in there. We got to win against Buffalo and get that second seed and move forward. Like people are like jumping off the ship and calling for people to be fired and all this other stuff. I just like if you paid attention to the way it was lining up, this game between Buffalo, they were gonna make it for the AFC East championship. I mean the for us in Buffalo for this game to matter. It was just too many components. I mean, and just the way this team has shown us, right? We've seen Mike McDaniel be stubborn. We've seen Fangio be stubborn. We've seen them not show up on the road against bigger teams. So, I mean, I'm not celebrating it, but I'm not losing my mind over it because I'll be honest, I expected it.
I'm. I didn't expect it to be that bad. I expected it to be a closer game. Like I said, it was like 24-17 was my prediction. Um, Defensively, I felt like there was so many miscues. Like compared to where this defense, our expectations of this defense was, compared to what we actually saw on the field today, was a complete 180. A complete 180. Duke Riley got burned multiple times. You stick anybody on Duke Riley today, and they're burning Duke Riley no matter who it is. Shit, I think I could have burned Duke Riley today and how bad he played. Um, Eli Apple got burned. Cater Kohu again gets burned. Again gets postered again by OBJ. It was just that secondary today was not what I expected, especially getting back Javon Holland. There's no excuse for what we saw defensively on that secondary, and I called it. They go. Uh, Miami was going to go zone. They were going to let Lamar stay in the pocket, which they did. Lamar stayed in the pocket. Didn't have a huge game running. He only had a couple big runs. That was about it. Um, Everything came from Justice Hill, but he didn't have a huge game. Kept them in the pocket, kept them true in the pocket, and he just literally ripped them apart. And I really had faith, a lot of faith in the secondary, especially for what we saw the past couple weeks. But you know what? Dude, there was no communication. There's a lot of miscues. They didn't pick guys up on the zone. Like you're playing zone. There was no reason why you let up two touchdowns in the red zone. One to Isaiah Likely going over the cross on a drag route. And then they did the same exact fucking play the following fucking drive or two drives later to score with their fucking fullback on the same look. And it's like, dude, and Cater was sitting on that end both fucking times. Nobody passes the guy off. You can see 21 trying to scream over to Cater to catch attention on that guy running through the drag route on the drag underneath. Completely just eyes focused on Lamar. Way too much commitment to Lamar from Cater tonight. And unfortunately they paid the price, letting up what 50 something points, 55 points today. It's just embarrassing. It's I wouldn't have mind the loss, but not to that extent. Like if we lost, okay, cool, whatever. It is what it is. But to lose to 55-19 is just disgraceful. It's just sickening in my opinion.
Well, here's
This
the
is
thing:
sickening.
when you were going through all of the different problems, what adjustments did Vangio make? So that's why, to me, I'm not surprised because
He
I
didn't.
still
He didn't. He kept the same fucking game plan the entire game.
exactly. So
He didn't
like,
apply pressure. No
so
pressure.
like, like people gonna get on, some of the hot button names that you named, but at the end of the day, if your coach is not putting you in a position to win, it was like he said in his mind that Lamar cannot beat me in the pocket. So no matter what is shown to me, I'm gonna keep the same defense. Because I was like, "Where's Cam Smith? Why would you put Eli Apple out there?" As soon as Eli Apple went out there, they continuously threw on his side,
Him
and
and
and that's
Cater.
why
They just focused on him and Cater.
and
That's
that's
who they
why
were.
I
That's who they were
said
bullying.
I was not surprised we got the doors blown off us because McDaniel is that way too, right? Like to me, even though the game was somewhat gone, I think they could have had better momentum if they would have just took the points when they scored the touchdown. Why are you going for it for two? Why? It makes no sense. And the play call, like for me, Devon A. Chain, for whatever the situation was, why didn't he get more looks? Why are you still trying to force that one time? And I can't lie, I muted the game after this. When that one throw was five defenders and there's little Tyreek Hill trying to jump up and catch a ball that
Well,
Tua.
so I actually, so what that specific play you're talking about, I tweeted out right when it happened. I didn't realize that Tyreek Hill was 6'5". Then I realized that the ball was tipped. And again, this is the thing with Baltimore. Baltimore plays personnel zone. That's what they do. They give you a gap and then they close that gap real quick, which is what they did. You saw that Roquan Smith when he got that interception over the middle with that one hander. They close the gaps. That's what they do. They attack the gaps. And guess what? He's a spot thrower. That's what Tua does. He spot throws. Gets that little spot. They're gonna close that spot up. Boom, pick. Happened twice. One off of
But
a
what I'm
deflection
saying
and
in
one
that
off not.
play, if you look at that play, it was Devon A Chain wide open on the other side of him. So like I
But
said,
that's what happens when you're trying to force it to your $30 million wideout. When you got other guys that are capable, like a Braxton Berrios that we really haven't seen since earlier this year, who's another speeds guy. I don't get why they don't utilize him more, but whatever. That's beyond me. River Craycraft, who had a decent year last year, they don't really utilize him as often as they used to. So you're forcing it to these a couple of these few guys. I love that they involved Smythe more in this game because he had a very productive game, which he was one of those that were was a question mark for the game, and they utilized him. But it's like, yo, what about these guys like Braxton Berrios? What about River Craycraft? Cedric Wilson, he had that good touchdown, but you didn't go back to him like that. You didn't push him down the field like they were utilizing Cedric Wilson on those wheel routes or with those wheel routes. Where those wheel routes with him?
that's what I'm
You,
saying. What you're saying is why I am not gonna let the Miami Dolphins ruin my New Year's Eve. I had a good 2023, great 2023, and I'm looking forward to a great 2024. They got this saying: when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Once I
yeah,
saw that there was no adjustments, I can't lie. I clicked over to the New England game because I was like, well, if New England wins, then we win the AFC East that way. Because I just figured that McDaniel was gonna be too hard headed, that Fangio was gonna be too hard headed, and Lamar was just gonna pick them apart. You gotta understand, Lamar is from South Florida, and he did not like how Tua came back and won that game in his house. So this was personal for him. Like, and if your coach does not adjust and they just arrogantly just keep running the same plays over and over and over, I say, fans, don't get your pressure up. Enjoy your holiday. And hopefully on next Sunday, they learn from their mistakes and we get some guys back and we win it in our house against the Bills. Because to me, it was setting up for that. Once I saw the Bills kept miraculously winning, I said, well, they setting this up for this game to matter against the Dolphins. All the
where do you
Dolphins got.
where do you where do you think the NFL puts this game at? Do you think they put it as a prime time game for the East?
Well, I think they will. I mean, because again, and I think we'll win it. I think we're winning next week. And I have a weird prediction. I don't even think we're going to see Baltimore in the playoffs because I think somebody else is going to knock them off. And that's why I'm telling
Who do
everybody
you think?
just calm down. Like the
Ooh, who you think gonna knock him out?
well,
The
I don't.
Browns?
I think I can't say who, but if we win against the Buffalo Bills, we're not going to see them anyway until they win their whoever they play. And Baltimore has a reputation, Lamar including, to playing well in the regular season and not playing good in the playoffs. So wouldn't shock me if whoever they play in their bracket, because that's why it's so important we get that number 2 seed. So we don't
Yeah,
have to face them. And somebody else
somebody
faces
else's
them and knocks
problem.
them off.
Well, I personally am hoping, obviously, for a Dolphins W on Sunday or Saturday, whatever day they decide to put us. I'm actually kind of hoping they put a Saturday night for that night slot there on Saturday. Knock it out, get it out the way. Let's get the AFC wrapped up. I do hope we win this game, obviously, because winning this game does mean a home playoff game, maybe two home playoff games. Well, it will secure two home playoff games. Uh,
Right.
so that I do hope Miami wins this game because there is a lot that goes into, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with my co-host Turbo, who's a Ravens fan, who's actually here. He's inside the house. I'm out here cooking my losers chicken because our defense plays a bunch of fucking chickens. But anyways, it's a different story. But my fucking neighbor's looking at me. But I'm so glad you guys lost today. That hurts my feelings. So glad. That hurts my feelings. Ravens beat you guys to sleep. You see, my neighbors are mean, man. I'm on a podcast, and you're talking about how my Dolphins lost. That's not nice. Yeah, because you only won. You couldn't win by field goals this week. Yeah. I guess she's a Dallas fan. She's like, I can't. I guess you can't. Y'all, this week you can't win by field goals. So I guess she's a Dallas fan. But anyways, that's what I was saying. Um, I was explaining to them that this game, even though there's not really a big significance, it was for the first seed, for that home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and that's huge, especially when you're looking at like teams like Cleveland, who's right behind us for that number two spot. You don't want to go to Cleveland in fucking January or February or January, really, right? You don't want to go up to Cleveland, Ohio, where it's snowing and it's fucking 30, 20, 30 degrees. You know what I'm saying? 10 degrees. Same thing with, like, for instance, like Baltimore, a team like Baltimore, even a team like Kansas City. You don't want to go up there and play there and freeze your ass off. You want to be in Miami. You want to be comfortable. You want to be in your home field with your advantage. So it just sucks that Miami couldn't pull that off.
But like I said, there's still other things that's working in our way. Like Kansas City right now is losing to Cincinnati. So if Buffalo winning, I think that changes the perspective of
Not
this.
necessarily, because if Buffalo, if Cleveland loses and Buffalo, if Cleveland loses next week, and Buffalo beats us, they get the number two spot.
But I don't, like I said, I don't think Miami will lose that game, especially with
Well, they
everything
can't.
that.
It's a must win at that point. They cannot lose this game. It's a must win.
Yeah, no, but that's why the sky isn't falling for me because that game is at home. Hopefully, you get a couple of guys back. There's that stain of being embarrassed again on national TV. All of that different narratives. I just think they finally get it done and they send Buffalo, at least just for a playoff game and not an actual winning of the AFCs. I think they'll win that game. But here's the thing: we still got to learn from the mistakes, and it comes from the leadership. Like, because I was looking at the TV, right, when we were leading, I said, well, Lamar just drove them down again. Where is the leadership on both sides of the ball, the defense and on the offense? Who are the people that's galvanizing the team to keep their head on straight? And you know what happened? Cedric Wilson got a penalty that cost us positioning, and him and two of
But
us
that
on the
wasn't
bench.
that wasn't a fucking penalty though.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
here my thing is this what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
They both on the bench laughing. Like that told me everything that I needed to know about how this game was going, whether it was a bad call or not. The last thing I want to see is my team on the bench chopping it up and laughing. Like, where's the focus?
So
Where's
my
the
my my, my thing is, so then it just kind of like to rebuttal it, right? I think that was in the second. That was at the end of the second quarter, towards the end of the second quarter, if I'm not mistaken. That was going into the half. I think Miami was really confident they were going to come out of that game, out of the half, and come on and go full throttle. So I could see where they're like, all right, bro, the game's not lost yet. Like, like the desperation wasn't there yet. You feel me? Now to go and talk about that penalty, which they call the offensive pass interference, which really was a moving pick.
nah?
I disagree with that call because the call earlier in the game against Baltimore on that wheel route to Isaiah to Justice Hill, the offensive player stopped and literally blocked the guy mid route. And they were talking about it in the commentary where they were saying he needs to continue moving on that route and they won't be called. Cedric did the same thing, ran through the fucking block, ran through and continued on his route, and they still called it.
Yeah.
And they still called that PI.
Well, I'm just still. I'm forget the PI. I'm just saying my whole point of bringing it up.
I get you the
It,
Nemer, the sense of urgency.
yeah,
I
where's
get
your
where you're coming from.
leadership? Because like it begun when you get to this part of the season, it's less about X's and O's and talent, and now just execution and mental toughness. Because let's be honest, the Ravens had injuries too throughout the game. They were losing players, so that's why I was telling people nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. Okay, we got injuries. You got to still play. It's not like you're gonna get on the knee and just forfeit the game. You still got to go out there and execute. And somebody brought up a point. I don't know who it was, but somebody said this just shows how much Mike McDaniel works with the second stringers. I said that's a good observation because it totally looked out of sync at certain points of the game, and this is stuff that this is his next steps in learning how to be a champion. And I don't know if you were in that space when I brought this up. You can have all of the top talent in the world, you still got to figure out how to win, and that's all it's about. Is how do we get past the hump when we were up, I think 13-10. You could feel it. You could feel that these guys were getting ready to drive and and put us in a position to keep swinging back. And this is when Mike McDaniel, the coaching staff, and even the guys on the ground. Because let's be honest, where was Christian Wilkins? I wouldn't even know he was out there. I heard Zach Sealer's name, and this is
They
a
had a
person
good
that's
game plan.
asking. This is a person that's asking for over $20 million. Like, come on now. These are the moments that when you ask for these big bags, you got to be able to perform and execute and make things happen. Everybody gives it to Tua, and I agree because he's QB1. But there's other guys on that team to where you're a veteran or you're an important piece. You got to figure out a way, and that's what Zach Siller did. He actually, when he got that strip right in that fumble, and we got the ball back, and then Tua threw an interception. Those are the things that will take you out the game beyond the opposition and the referees. And that goes back to what do we have dialed up when we got the ball back? What was the play that Mike McDaniel had to run? And that
Gaines, do you hear me?
mhm. Yeah, I don't know if the other guys up here, but you get my point. Like you whenever you're trying to win a championship, and I always use Michael Jordan because he's one of my favorite athletes to ever play. And people forget it
Right.
took him 7 years to actually win a championship. Like a lot of us that grew up in the 90s, we only saw him when he was 6-0. But before that, he had to go through 7 years of getting his butt kicked by the Celtics, the Pistons, different coaching, GM problems. So in order to be a champion, you got to go through steps, man. You got to go through a process. But to me, I'm not gonna be like these fans on Twitter and saying the season is over with and all this other stuff. No, you still got a game on Sunday, and these same people that's bashing the team will be the same ones saying we're going to the Super Bowl when we beat Buffalo next Sunday. So that's my take on it. I'm gonna enjoy the gift that was 2023 and prepare for 2024. But I'm not gonna let them ruin my
Your
holiday.
new year,
Not
your
at all.
2020. Let me tell you something. I would have had a better 2024 if my Hard Rock picks would have hit. Telling you right now, I would have had a lot better 2024. But you know what? McCaffrey, McCaffrey got hurt my feelings, made me cry, and I've been depressed ever since. But no, I do agree, man. I do agree. We'll see what happens next week. I want to see where they put this game next week. It's going to be interesting where they slot it because remember, no game next week is announced yet, and I'm pretty sure they're going to announce it tonight after this 8 o'clock game here with Minnesota and Green Bay. So it's going to be interesting to see where they slot us next week for that Buffalo game, since it is going to be a significant, meaningful game, right? I hope they don't put it early on Saturday because I'm working Saturday, but I might have to call out. I might have to call out.
Yeah,
But
Mike McDaniel got to learn, man. Like people forget, this is just his second year. You know, we some people get lucky and win it one time, but he got to learn. Like you got to get out. He got to get out his own way. Like there was a point where stuff was working. The A chain play was working. The Jeff Wilson was working, and then before you know it, him and Tua did the same thing. They went back to Tyreek Hill, and now we punting the ball. And I feel bad for anybody that's going off on Tyreek Hill. You gotta understand, if it wasn't for Tyreek Hill, would we even be in this situation? Like, come on, the dude is a human being. He's
well,
gonna have
yeah, I heard
drops.
some people mentioning that, like, oh, you pay him $30 million for him to drop the ball in the end zone. And you know what? But how many passes has he caught this year?
Yeah,
How
I
many
just
how many touchdown passes does he have this year under his belt that he did come down with? Not everybody's gonna get every single play, every single reception. It happens. Bro, Waddle dropped a couple big open passes. You obviously had Hill today drop a pass. You had the other Hill, a rookie tight end, drop a pass. You had Chase Claypool drop a pass. So I mean, there was a lot of drops today. There was a lot of different things that contributed to this loss today. It wasn't all tied to Tagovailoa and how Tua sucks and this that. Like most of these people on Twitter are saying, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the fact that the team in general did not play well. Our defense did not play well. Our secondary specifically did not play well. A lot of drop passes. The only bright side that I would put, the only bright spot that I would put in this entire game was Devon Achane. The run game was successful. Why did they abandon the run game? I have no idea. Because they were popping them off left and right.
I
I
mean,
have,
like his first couple of plays went for 40 yards. Like I
dude,
was
he
like,
he could have easily rushed for over 200 today. Easily, just like Justice Hill. Justice Hill had a 218 yards combined today. 218 yards. So why do you abandon Devon Achane? If you're able to maybe convert a couple of those first downs, a couple of those third down conversions with a run play, you would have been on the field a little bit longer, gave your defense time to recuperate and time to adjust to whatever it is they needed to adjust to.
well, the only thing, like I said, is I'm curious as to what is going to be Chris Greer's move for X being out, because I think he's done. He's looked like a shell of himself for a couple of games now, and then this Bradley Chubb thing, like he, I don't know how it works in the NFL if they can even pick up anybody right now, but it's
They
just
could they could pick up. They can bring in somebody else, whoever is available. They might bring back JPP. I could see that happening, and they'll run JPP and Melvin Ingram on the counter with obviously with Van Ginkel. I don't know if they can bring back Baker or not. I think we're already at our limit on bringing back people from IR. But if we could bring back Baker, Baker would be a nice substitute there for Bradley Chubbs, since that is his natural position, the outside linebacker position. Um, but that would be an alternative if they're able to bring him back up, since they're putting in Bradley Chubb on IR. But we would have to see. I don't know who else they would bring in. I think the only person they can bring in that they just had on the roster is JPP.
yeah, they showing the clinching right now, and the only people that clinch is Cleveland, us, and Baltimore. So the field is open, and that's why I'm saying about everybody panicking.
Buffalo's gonna come at us with everything they got because it's but for Buffalo it's win or go home. So Buffalo's also in a must-win situation, but their must-win situation could possibly give them the number 2 seed, and that's what I'm afraid of. Not
But
only that, you're giving them home field against the wild card, which might be against us.
that's what I'm saying about what we have done in this season, right? Because previously we would have been Buffalo, and Buffalo will be where we are, and that's where I keep my positivity. Like, okay, yes, I'm upset about today, but in previous years we wouldn't be at 11 wins. Buffalo would be at 11 wins, and we would be the ones, not playing at home. Well, the schedule had us at home, but you get my disposition.
Yeah.
We're in a better place than we've been in a very long time. The thing of it is the leaders, right? This is everybody. This is Tua. This is Jalen Ramsey. This is the coaching. They cannot allow Buffalo to win that game next Sunday. However, they need to do it, and that's definitely on McDaniel and Fangio. If something isn't working, you
You
have
need to move
to
on from it.
adjust.
You need to move
Period.
on from it. Like, yo, that zone was not working. Go back and but you know what? Man to man wasn't working either because they went man to man multiple times, and that's when they beat us. That's where they beat us the most. That
Well,
Duke
I don't know.
Riley,
Did they
that
ever
wheel
send a
route.
zero blitz? Because I stopped. I'm gonna be
No,
honest.
no, he didn't zero blitz at all.
That's the
So
problem. When I hate to say the name because people hate his name, but when Flores and Boyer beat Lamar, they sent some blitzes. You can't just let them sit back there and pick you apart.
I get it, but the thing with the issue is you would need to have man to man press, and that was the problem when Duke Riley was man to man on Justice Hill, he got burnt. When Cater was man to man on Flowers or Odell, he got burnt, and that was the issue. When Eli Apple was on one of them, they got burnt. They were getting burnt like burnt toast, bro,
Yeah,
left
I
and right.
get
So you
that, but
can't you can't stay
the
man to
reason
man
why they're
and
getting
blitz.
burnt, if you're going man to man, right? But he has open lanes to throw in. That was the problem. I don't think it was man to man. He just had open lanes. You got to send a blitz. You got to make them
No,
uncomfortable.
Duke. They brought a blitz in a couple times. They brought in Long a couple times. They weren't able to get the pressure with the fifth guy. They brought Duke once or twice. I didn't see Cater coming off the edge like normal, which I would have liked to see. And I said that. I called that. Put Cater, bring Cater in over on the edge. I would have liked them, especially that Duke was getting burnt so much. I would have preferred Duke to be the spy and let him sit in that pocket there for Lamar. And I would have liked to stick a guy like Holland or even Brandon Jones, on some of these guys. I don't know why they didn't put Brandon Jones back there. Brandon Jones can play the linebacker position. I would have stuck him back there at
But
that point.
that's my whole point. If you don't do any type of adjustments and you still stick with your game plan, even though you're being cooked, then you hold a lot of the responsibility. But like I said, I didn't like the body language of our players. Like, you got to understand, yeah, we can take care of it next week, but you saw Buffalo won. So now you just put a lot more pressure on yourself that wasn't needed, right? Because there was times, to be honest, that Baltimore was giving us an opportunity to come back, but when you shoot yourself in the foot, when
We
you're
were
not
trading shots back and forth. I agree. We were trading shots back and forth at the beginning of that game until we traded those punts away and we threw that first pick, and they took that like I think it was like a 4 or 5 point lead, and after that they just ran with it. It was just a landslide after that. What's going on, Alex?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Nene, hey, Big Philly. It's just
Hey, happy New Year's Eve to you, sir, and your family.
Happy New Year's as well to you and Merry belated Christmas as well. Hope you're feeling better, Nene. I know you've been under the weather. Me and my family were just getting over COVID, so and including my baby, but we're doing much better. But um, but after but after today, I don't even know where to go with this after today. I really don't. I mean, yes, season's not over yet. I agree. Yes, the division could be taken next week, but But I got to tell you this: watching this game today, and seeing that McDaniel and the whole team, Lamar was just ripping the defense apart like nothing, absolutely nothing. The guys just running wide open all day. It was like watching a high school game. That's basically what it looked like. It was like watching a high school game, and with these guys running open all day, and and another question is what are the starters doing in the game when the game's a blowout? What can I curse on here, Big Philly? Can I curse on here?
Yeah, you can.
What
Well,
the
don't be too
what the
crazy though. Don't be too.
what the fuck are you doing, leaving the starters out there in a blowout game? I don't get that. I just don't.
Alex, you want to hear what the coach said? And I also had that cold flu, and that's why I'm cooking my Christmas dinner on New Year's because we was too sick to eat it. But yeah, I recovered as
What
well,
was
man.
McDaniel's explanation to this?
He said that the players still wanted to be out there and compete. So that's why he didn't pull them out because the players didn't want to be pulled out. And that's where people have they hit on McDaniel. Are you the coach or is the players the coach?
Exactly. Yes. Yes, exactly. Okay, fine. The players want to play. Kudos to the players. They want to go out there. They want to compete. Kudos to them. But let me tell you something. When the game's over and there's no way coming back from with 4 minutes left to go in the game or whatever, no, I'm sorry. You can't do that, especially when you got an even bigger game next Sunday in Miami, a chance to lock up the division. And now we just lost our best pass rusher for the season.
I'm
Like
trying to be hopeful because the MRI didn't come back, but yeah, it didn't look good.
there's
But
already multiple reports saying it. I think even but
Dude, you can hear him screaming on the live game
yeah.
cast. You can hear him screaming in agony.
yeah, and I hope for that sometimes I hate to say it, something like that takes to happen for the coach to adjust his theology, right? Because there's this moment where he's leaning over Chubb as he's on the cart, and he looks like he's very emotional, Mike McDaniel. You got to make the right decision. I get you want to be the player's homie, but in some cases you got to save them for themselves and say no.
You gotta pull him at some point, And I don't know why they still had him in there. Like if they didn't learn their lesson with Jalen Phillips, you know what I'm saying? Like they didn't learn their lesson then.
I think what's going to end up happening here. Here's what I think. Here's what I think is the long story to this. Okay, you got to think about this going into if you going to next Sunday, right? McDaniel's got to know that his job is on the line if they don't win next Sunday. I think I think that's got to be his mindset right now because you really think that Ross, Greer, or any of these guys going to tolerate another one and done playoff year if they don't win if they don't make the if they make when they make when they I'm sorry if they don't get out of the first round.
I agree, but also here's the thing too. This is where a lot of people don't like me, but I put a lot of onus on Greer. He got a lot of guys that got injury concerns and put this team together, knowing their injury history, a la Teron Armstead, right, and
Yeah.
others. So now we're at the end of the season. I just think that would be so unfair year two into McDaniel's tension that he's on the hot seat. That wouldn't be right in my opinion. But I hear what you're saying. But Greer has to take onus when he's asked on the podium about his offensive line and he chuckles and says, "You're more worried about it than I am." And now I don't know if y'all saw it, but there was a moment where I was praying for Liam Eichenberg because he went down. A
Yeah,
person that
that
I
most
saw
calf,
people
that.
hate.
that calf injury.
Listen, I'd say hold on.
But yeah, man, it was tough, man. It was just tough. Like there's so many questionable things that happen, man. And again, like why risk Bradley Chubb? Why risk any of the starters at that point? That late in the game, with 4 minutes left, you're down by what 30 points. Like you're not coming back, dude. Like this isn't. I mean, even last year's game, we were down 14 or yeah 14 with 4 minutes left. There's a difference there. You're down by 30 with 4 minutes left. Like why do you have these guys? And then what pisses me off is the pool, right? He's talking to the press and he's like, "Well, I wish I could have had a time machine." And it's like, motherfucker, you're the only idiot that had these. Well, not him, because it could have been a Fangio call, right? It could have been Fangio that wanted to keep his guys in.
Right.
It might have not been McDaniels, because the whole point was he was supposed to control his lineup for the defense. So maybe it was Fangio that decided to keep his guys in there. But regardless who it was, why are we keeping these guys out there with 4 minutes left and we're down
Exactly.
by 30?
Exactly.
We
That's
got
where
a big game next week.
exactly, Big Philly. That's exactly that's the kind of thing that that I've been wondering too. And and I was going back and forth with my buddy about it because he's screaming he's screaming the same thing that you're screaming, like that we're all doing. Like, and look what happens, right? And now that we got to worry about now Xavier Howard. I'm sorry. I'm done with it. I'm done with X. I'm done with Howard. Cut his ass after this season. I'm done with him. I'm so done with him after this season. He's so soft. It's not even funny. He's a freaking liability out there.
Why? But why do you say he's soft? He hurt his foot, bro.
Here, when was the last time you seen X healthy?
Okay, bro, but he's one of those that had injury concerns, dude. Even after we drafted him, even his rookie year he got hurt. He got hurt every year almost,
Big
except for that
Philly,
one year.
he got hurt. I get it. He got hurt every year, and yes, he in his rookie year he had that knee problem. I get that, but after that, the next couple of years he was fine.
But we should not be focusing on the fact of X. We should be focusing on Cater Kohu giving up those big passes. Where's Cater from last season? Where's the standout rookie, undrafted rookie? Where's he
Yeah,
been?
but was he
He
in that
hasn't shown
same
up.
He's playing
position
out of position.
covering like last year? Or is his position
Yeah, he
different?
was the outside. He was on the
Okay.
outside. X was there last year. Ramsey's there this year.
He's
So
he's he's playing
where's
out of
he?
position, in my opinion.
No, he's not. Even when he plays at the nickel corner position, he gets burned. So where is the outstanding Cater Kohu undrafted rookie? Because he's not here.
Let me
He
ask you
hasn't been
something, Big
here. He's
Philly.
had flashes.
Big
That's
Philly,
it.
let me ask you something, and it's gonna probably hurt to say it, but wasn't he playing in a different style of defense than Fangio has for this team?
Oh, of course he has.
So
Of
I
course.
think that
That's exactly
answers.
what I said.
I think
Boy,
that
did better with
answers
this
your
defense than
question.
Fangio's done.
I think that's answer your question on the
Vangio,
direction.
listen, Vangio's not going anywhere this season.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's
No,
true.
I'm not saying to
No.
that, but you asked
No,
where is
yeah.
Kohu, but he was in a different type of defense where he was
He went
productive.
from he went from a blitzing man-to-man press defense to a zone defense. Because that's
Right,
what Fangio runs, his zone.
right. And
And it
didn't
takes a more
Fangio
complex, yeah.
didn't Fangio say on the record that he doesn't have the players that he wants?
I don't know.
He
I would
said
not.
that earlier in the year that he doesn't have the guys that he wants for his system.
Isn't
So
it? Well, all due respect, I guess my answer would be to him. All due respect, you're a coach, and your job is to make it work with what you got.
yeah, but I think that's the difference of the evils of they brag about him that people actually use his style defense around the league. Do you really think that Mike
So
McDaniels
you're
has
gonna
the
go
crew to?
and cut all the young talent you have because it doesn't fit your system and start from scratch that defense?
But see, this is what I'm saying to you guys. There's a bigger problem here what is the organization walking in unison? Or is this guy doing this and this guy's doing that? And because we were winning, nobody was paying attention to it.
Well, they got to figure that shit out. Cause
They have to. Because at the end of the day, Greer, his responsibility in a lot of aspects, if that's who he wants and you hired him, why would you continue to give
Oh,
him
guys,
pieces?
Big Philly, thanks for having me on, man. I'm gonna go watch the hockey game. At least
yeah,
my,
go ahead,
at
go ahead.
least my, at least let's just hope that the Islanders take a victory tonight. At least I can get some sort of relaxation.
Well,
Watching the
happy
Islanders.
New
I
Year
mean,
to
I'm gonna
you,
relax
Alex.
either way. Because I'm not gonna let the Dolphins ruin my New Year's like Nene. I'm gonna live on Nene's status right now.
And listen,
Damn right,
hey,
Nene.
this is like one of the first days that I feel 100% healthy, that I'm not coughing or my throat's not sore or I don't feel fatigue. And it wasn't COVID. I think it's a new respiratory bug that's going on
Yeah,
that
I heard
everybody's
about that,
catching.
Nene. That's been going around. A couple of friends of mine actually have that. They actually been hospitalized for it.
So this is the first day, and I can't lie, I guess my Miami Heat started my numbness with Tyler Hero ruining the game yesterday. I said, I ain't gonna let no sports team ruin that. I made it through 2023 as a college graduate and getting accepted in law school and all that. No, I'm gonna celebrate this year. I was hoping the Dolphins proved me wrong, but I said it on Spaces that when we were talking about the next 5 games, I had this game as a loss. I just felt like
Yeah, this game was gonna be a challenging game, and I knew that going into it. I was hoping Miami was gonna win that game, but I knew it
Yeah,
was
I
gonna
did
be a
too.
challenging game.
All
but you
right,
know
guys.
who you gotta
Nene,
give
Happy
your
New Year,
respect
Nene.
to?
Much
All
love and
right
respect
now.
to you, Nene. And glad you're feeling better. Big Philly, thanks for having me on, man. Happy New
Later,
Year
bud.
as well to you
Happy
too,
New
bud.
Year, Alex. Thank you,
Have a
bud.
good night.
Later,
You
bud.
know who else is
Later.
we gotta just give our flowers to, man. Lamar really solidified his what they say, big time players make big time plays. I mean, and I think that's
He
people's
was a
pushback with
playmaker.
Tua.
He proved that he's a playmaker. That's all he did.
But I still think we got a spot because one thing about Baltimore, they play well in the regular season, but they don't do well in the playoffs. So we I think we still Mike McDaniel, I just hope that he learns from this, right? I hope he seriously learns from and Fangio and you know what? Sometimes we don't give all the other people accountability, all the coordinators, everybody on the staff, every man, every woman that's a part of that organization. You learn from it, and then Sunday you kick Buffalo's butt, and then you know what's gonna happen? Everybody that's complaining is now gonna be saying we Super Bowl bound. So that is how it works with our fan
Well,
base. Sad to say.
I think first things first, and I do agree 100%. This we have a lot of flip floppers in this fan base. But what I will say is this week is going to tell it all. With the moves that Miami makes, we got now they're going to have to bring in another DN, another pass rusher. So we got to be on the lookout for who they bring in. I think they're just gonna bring back JPP, since they already had him in the building, and they cut him to bring in Melvin Ingram. Um, so I think they're gonna do that, and we have to see how they bounce back and rebound against a very tough Buffalo Bills team that has kind of rebound, but they are still lacking offensively, which might be a benefit to us. So let's try to exploit their offensive woes next week. And as long as we keep up and we're able to, depending on how the flow of the game goes, trade punches, I think that we'll have a very, very good game against Buffalo and come out with a W there and knock Buffalo out the playoffs, and take the East like we rightfully so deserve, right? So let's see what they do, man. Let's see how they approach this week. They'll probably get back tomorrow morning or tonight. I would hope they fly back tonight. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fly back tonight. And hopefully, I would not give the guys a day off. I would definitely come into the building tomorrow and start film work tomorrow, in my opinion.
And then the other thing is Mike McDaniel, beyond the wrinkles of creativity of his offense, he has to figure out how do I adjust once they figure me out. I think that's the biggest problem because sometimes he just looks like he's out of it, like he's staring into outer space or a deer
I
with the
think that's
head.
that. I think that's that vape pen he be hitting.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I need him to lock in and figure out because he's a really smart guy. We can see that it's obvious, but he's got to figure out when I run against teams that have the personnel to match my original plan. What do I do to counter that? And that's
100,
to me the next step of his progression, honestly.
100%. I agree.
Don't mind me, I'm feeding this. He begged enough, and I gave him a couple of pieces of turkey.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm over here flipping my chicken right now in the pit, but I'm doing it in the fucking dark, so that's fun enough as it is. So I'm making lose your chicken because we lost, so it sucks, man.
Well, I got some greens, some macaroni and cheese, some turkey necks.
Yeah, I'm gonna boil some potatoes next. I'm gonna do some mashed potatoes, some chicken, and some broccoli here for dinner here tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to church tonight.
Okay.
Bring in the new year. Well, my wife wants to go, so she's gonna get home. We'll go to church. Hopefully, depends, because now apparently you need a reservation to go to church. That's a different story.
Well, I don't
Here
know.
they be wilding out here.
Where you at?
But I'm in Miami. I'm over here in Sunrise, man. But
Okay, okay.
yeah, but they were. My wife was telling me the church that we usually go to. They require now a reservation for you to attend the New Year's Eve mass, or not whatever they call the service. There it goes. So we'll see, but we'll have a little fun there. Hopefully, get a little praise on, a little praise on.
Yeah. I'm about to get off in a minute because I got to run to the
Yeah,
store grab a couple of
I'm
things.
gonna end it now too. I gotta go walk the pups. But thank you, Nene, for coming on and spitting it with me 45 minutes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope I
Got the
gave you some positivity because everybody's
Oh,
just
girl, you
going
gave me a whole
crazy.
lot of positivity now because the world is crazy. When you got guys like the Pizza of the world going out there already, saying how Tua
Yeah.
was best because he hurt his shoulder, and it wasn't that he really hurt his shoulder, even though you clearly saw the dude's shoulder hanging there off a fucking socket. But whatever. When you got people like that out there, obviously, you need a little help.
Those type of people been waiting for a while to say they
That's
were
the only
right.
that's the only time they're relevant is when things like this happen. So, it's just they take advantage of the situation, and that's fine. I get it. And that's fine. Pete has his take and his theory on who Miami's quarterbacks should be. There's a lot of obviously you got all the Lamar Jackson fans who wanted to see Lamar here in Miami. They come out the woodworks and they start posting left and right, Lamar's pictures with a Dolphin jersey on. And I'm like, okay, dude, that was never going to happen. That was just all talk. Uh, but, nonetheless, he won. Lamar is a great quarterback. He's having a phenomenal year. And we lost to another great team. So it's just, you win some, you lose some. But it's how you rebound, right? So hopefully we come in to the Hard Rock. We're back home. Were we 9 and what are we 8-1, 9-1,
Yeah,
seven and
we
one?
only lost one game, so that's
So,
that.
you know what? Let's go into home next week, starting the new year with a dub against them Buffalo Bills. Let's knock they punk asses out the fucking playoffs. And let's send Josh Allen home crying like a little bitch that he is. And all them Buffalo fans that are probably listening, for those of y'all, Amicus and Mark, fuck you. Okay? But anyways, I still love you. But nonetheless, let's have some fun and hopefully get a dub next week at the Rock
Yep, yes,
and
sir. And
and
again,
push.
Happy New Year to you and your family. I'm about to sign off and just go up
Yes.
here to Walmart real quick to pick up some things.
Happy New Year, Nene.
All right.
Thank you for coming up again. I appreciate it. Well, if y'all haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We are giving away free autographed Dolphin jerseys. We have a Nick Needham jersey we are giving away when we reach 500 subscribers. And we are giving away an Xavier Howard JSA verified autograph throwback jersey once we reach 800. And I know it's going to suck to hear, but when we reach 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away a Mark Andrews jersey. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Even if you're an NFL fan in general and you want to talk about other teams, Miami Fan Talk Network is that type of network. We talk about all teams, although today is Dolphins Talk, and I am primarily the founder and host of this show. I am a Dolphins fan, but we're going to have more content to you guys coming out very soon. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, guys. I appreciate it. Happy New Year. Tell your friends, tell your family, Happy New Year. Love one another. Big Philly. It sucks for the loss today, but we got Buffalo next week. So tune in on Tuesday nights at 8:30 where we'll cover our time slots. I'll probably post it tonight or I might go live tomorrow, depending on where the time slots, when they announce the time slots. I'm assuming it's going to be after tonight's game. But whenever it is that they announce those time slots, I'll probably come live to announce that. But hey, Happy New Year, guys. Love you. Deuces. Peace out.